a good day, like this is something that I'll definitely carry. But like if I'm just feeling lazy and don't want to carry something heavy, I'll definitely carry this. So
Which is the Glock? What's that?
yeah,
The
well,
19X or?
yeah.
I mean,
I
speaking
got
of,
on my
why don't we
19X.
talk about that right now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to another gun. My battery is getting low anyway, but yeah, this gun is tricked out just like my Prodigy as well. I mean, we got the Surefire on there with another Trijicon optic, the RMR HRS,
Hmm.
and a
I see
hard
it's comped.
anodized 3 1/4 MOA dot. It's a really solid optic, and
What kind of
I
comp
keep
is that?
automatic mode. What'd you say?
What kind of comp is on that Glock? What I see it's comped up.
Yeah, this is from Parker Mountain Machine. It's
Okay.
their single compensator.
Yeah. So compensators, for those who don't know, it helps to redirect those gases upwards. Reducing some of that recoil, taking some of the snap out of it. Do you feel like it does a great job of really taking the snap out of? I mean, the Glock 19X doesn't have a lot of recoil, but do you feel like it helps?
Oh, definitely. Having a compensator definitely helps. And
Hmm.
sometimes I wish I went with the double ported just to see how flat that would have been. But the single ported, I have no complaints. I mean, it made this gun feel very different as soon as I shot
Yeah.
it. Like I it was it, 19X is already a decent gun to control, but having a comp on there, it's a plus. It just makes shooting this thing really fun.
Yeah. What are those 3 1/4 height sights, or are those suppressor height? What are those for your
Yeah,
iron
these are
sights?
sights. These are from Trijicon as well.
Hmm.
It gives
And
you a 1/3 co-witness.
I see you've got the customized back plate with the
Yeah,
Jif peanut butter. That's
yeah,
hilarious,
peanut butter. That peanut butter Glock, man.
bro. I'm not big into back plates, but that I like that. That's hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I don't like that place either, but I just felt it just really matched with this gun. Like it needed this. I mean, this is the only
Right,
backplate that I'll really ever buy. I'm not really
right.
a big fan of changing out backplates.
What?
Those dudes on YouTube Shorts who add that cringe Punisher skull on the back of their Glock or their.
Uh-uh.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
real quick, because I know we're short on time. Let's talk about that trigger. You may have mentioned it. What trigger did you change, and do you feel like it was worth it, or is there maybe another one you would have gone with?
Yeah, this is my favorite thing to talk about on my blog, actually. So I played around with my trigger quite a bit. So this is man, excuse me, but I
Hmm.
got the OEM trigger bar in here, and then this is the tack trigger from Overwatch,
Hmm. So
and
just a shoe.
yeah, just the shoe only. I left my bar OEM, but then I also have a ghost connector in this thing that I actually had to tune.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to think. So I'm not gonna lie. One thing that I probably would have changed about this trigger is actually the shoe itself. So I love this trigger very much, but with the tack trigger, it's made out of aluminum. And when you really get a high round count with this thing at the range, that trigger can get really hot after a while. So
It
even
starts to transfer that heat.
yeah, so I probably should have went with the polydad trigger as much as I shoot because once
Hmm.
again, that trigger gets really hot if it's made out of metal.
That's
But I
not
mean,
something I've ever thought about, but I
yeah,
guess now people know. Potentially, if you're putting a lot of rounds down range and the gun's heating up, that trigger's going to feel some of that heat as it
yeah,
transfers
you're
through.
gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it, but then it's a positive as well because you're not getting as much. You're getting some heat being transferred over to the trigger instead of all of it being on the slide or the barrel, of course. So that's
Science.
an advantage as well.
At some level. You've done a lot to this gun. Like when we flip it around to the other side, we do see that you installed a gas pedal. You have what looks like ambidextrous extended slide release, slide stop catch, or whatever you want to call it. Um,
Yep.
and also you put some I don't know if that's goon tape or just like tape or hockey tape or what,
Yeah,
just
it's
regular tape. Yeah. And a magwell. Of all those things, if you had to get rid of one, what would you get rid of?
I'll probably get rid of the goon tape and stop being cheap and get some stippling done.
Just get the stipple job done. Do you feel like that gas pedal really helps out, or I mean, you've already ported it, man, or not ported it? You've already got the comp. Do you really
Hmm.
need a gas pedal to? It's kind of like a ledge that you can place your thumb. For those who don't know, a ledge you can place your thumb to kind of help with the
I mean,
recoil.
yeah, it really helps. I mean, when you have a gas pedal on your gun, it really gets your thumb up higher on the slide, so you definitely get way more control of the firearm. Having a gas pedal or a thumb wrist, it really helps, along with having a compensator.
Yeah. Now I got to see your groups, man. We got to take this gun out to the range and see how you really run it because you've tuned this thing to the nines. It looks good. I'm a big fan. Um, yeah. Shoot, how much would you sell that for if you were like, I gotta okay, I gotta make ends meet. I gotta let go of my baby. How much would you sell that for if you had to name a reasonable price? You can't say $10,000 because that's not there's not a lot of Glocks.
It's a Glock, no, but so I say I got like around 2,500 into this build, but I'd probably sell it for like maybe 15 or 1,600 if I were to sell it with everything that's on here.
Hmm.
But if I were to sell this gun, I'd probably keep the optic in the light and just probably put it on another gun, maybe a FN 509 tactical, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Hmm.
So
I mean, like guns are tools. I mean, they get used a lot. That value really drops as soon as you put your first round in that gun. So
it does some hold their value to a point, but there is a drop off. And obviously if you add a light, if you add an optic, the price goes up, right? So there's that. Okay, yeah. And if you had to get rid of that Glock and move on to another Glock platform, what do you think it would be? What would you go for?
definitely a Glock 34. A 34 is actually a pistol that's on my list. I don't know when I'm gonna get one though. I've just been
34.
slowing down handguns and just been focusing more on ammo, like spending more money on ammo than I do on my firearms. So I want to get more training, and eventually I want to get more content for my channel